Men having different rank. And that window the door stopped too. Showing oneself above others, overtopping experience above others. Okay? Then it says, verse 3, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent. False accusers. Now that's a good one. False accusers. What is that? False accusers. Let's look at that. That's diabolos in the Greek.
12:28. Diabolos. Diabolos.
Diabolos. It says prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely, a calumniator, false accuser, slanderer. Metaphorically applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of the Most High, may be said to act the part of the devil or side with him. So we're going to go prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. Now, some men will say some tremendous disrespectful things about you and lie. And then you have spiritual men that supposed to be of the circumcision. They believe those lies or they mock those lies instead of looking into that and see if those lies, those false accusations is true or false. That's how you're supposed to judge spiritually with discernment. Okay? Not mocking and laughing about false accusations. And a lot of you men of the circumcision run into that. You like to hear that, just like bitches, like women. You're emotional into this. Okay? Instead of searching out this situation with the scriptures. Okay? That's how you're supposed to judge. It's not Israel supposed to judge the world. So you can't judge the smallest matters, but you're supposed to be these great men of the circumcision teaching this word. Then it says, without natural affection, truce breakers. Truce breakers mean they never keep their word. They never keep their word. You know what I'm saying? You should never give your word if you can't keep it. You know what I'm saying? So what you should just say, Lord willing. Okay? Don't promise anything because you don't know what can happen. Something can interfere with that and now you don't keep your promise and that makes you look like a liar. Okay? So just say, if the Lord willing, I'll try to do it. Okay? Lord willing. You don't know. Just say, I'll see if I can do that. Then it says traitors, backstabbers, heady, high-minded. You can't tell them nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just shit. Okay? Lovers of pleasure, the things of the world, okay? The rudiments of the world, okay? More than lovers of the Most High. They don't give a damn about the Most High. But these men of circumcision, I always get on the circumcision first and foremost because these are the men that's supposed to rule the nation of Israel. Okay? So we got to start with them first. And the Lord said he's going to save the house of Israel. Okay? And then it says verse 5. We have 2 Timothy 3 verse 5. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. Turn away from that. Okay? For such turn away. Then it says, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep in houses, and lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. Now, I like to make a point on this too, that both of us as our fault, men and women, when it pertaining to the nation of Israel. The men wrong the woman wrong the men. Okay? But here's the thing with that. The men are supposed to be the leaders. Okay? Now, we have women that sell their soul because some of them sell their soul by worshiping Satan. Okay? He's their new God. Okay? And we're talking about Esau. He's the ruler of the land. Okay? So a lot of them run and get those certain, majesties or masteries, different masteries, different doctrine, because they want to live like Esau. They want to live like Amalek. They want to live like the rudiment of the world. So they want to live, get those certain doctrine, and then they turn themselves on their men. And then you see a lot of those women by themselves. They don't have no men, but they'll lie and tell you that they can't find no good man. Okay, or you'll see a lot of those TV shows, and you'll see some of the women is like, oh, they try to act like they have a high expectation of their men. You're supposed to have a high expectation of yourself. That's true, but not so much that it's just too. It's just crazy. You know, you're doing overboard. Okay, so now what we do, it says learn not the way of the heathen. So what they do, they watch these TV shows, um, Housewives of Atlanta, all these other different shows. They want to get the tummy tucks. They want to get the lip suction. They want to do all the things of the heathens. Okay, instead of going back to their culture and their power. The scriptures tell you how you're supposed to live, and it also tells the man how he should treat their woman. So let's stop point the blaming game. Let's both be accountable for our actions. But I have to get on the men more because the men are supposed to be the leaders. But some may say, well, I've tried to do good with a certain woman I with, but she was a brute, she was a lion in the house. The scriptures say that. So how was I supposed to dwell with something like that? Well, to every different situation. You know what I'm saying? But what we have to do, we got to come back. We got to learn how to treat each other. Okay, this go back to last week. I brought this out against the Willie Lynch letter. He teaches one slave to go against the other slave. Light skin hates the dark skin. And now our people is in, now our people hating each other. They're going against each other. Oh, look at her. She thinks she's pretty because she's a red bone. Okay, that's the chocolate dark skinned nigga. You know what I'm saying? And then it starts them to be prejudiced against each other. And that's what Esau used in this system to divide us. But the scripture is going to bring us back closer. Okay? But we have to practice this. Then you got men that say they run into Islam. They run into all these different philosophies that's messing them up even more. So now you got a whole nation just in a dense darkness. All right? So where we at? It says, for of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sins and led away with diverse lust. Now, I also want to say this. I know some guys, right? They'll get with a girl, right? And their conversation, they ain't have shit before they got with this woman. Okay? So the woman's trying to work, she's trying to get them something. And I know somebody that I know that actually was being like this. Nigga was dirty, a bum, didn't have anything, right? So you would think when he get his break, okay, that he would try to make this, work to benefit him. Not saying a man need a woman, but some men chose to live by themselves. There's nothing wrong with that either. But if you do get a woman and you getting a break and she treating you decent, this fool destroyed that. He messed that up. You know what I'm saying? Putting sugar, nigga told me he put dishwashing liquid in the Kool-Aid because her kids was drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm like, this is a wicked nigga, man. Yeah, you laughing. This nigga said he put dish detergent in the Kool-Aid. I said, yo, why would you do that to kids, man? He said because they was drinking all the Kool-Aid. This is a grown damn man that has a kid's mentality. He was a kid him damn self. I said, that's wicked, bro. That's wicked to put dishwashing detergent in the Kool-Aid because they was drinking all the Kool-Aid. They kids. This what they do, man. So that's a wicked nigga. And this girl was trying to work and help him out, trying to give him money for cars and stuff like that. Meanwhile, he taking a car, getting the car stolen. You know, all of us get breaks, but we always cry and say we never get a break in this life. But the Lord give you blessings and you overlook it. You do dumb shit. You block your blessings. You do it to yourself. Okay? That's just an example. Then it says, we at verse 7. Ever learning and never able to come to knowledge of the truth. What does that mean? Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of truth. And now check this out. Verse 8. Now as Janus and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. Now let's meditate on those two characters. This is Janus and Jambres withstood Moses. Now these were two magicians, okay, in the time of Moses. And this was in a time when they were doing the snakes. Okay, when they were doing they were calling themselves battling Moses, right? So Moses had showed them that he brought out a snake, right? And then the magician said, "Well, that ain't nothing you doing. You ain't doing nothing slick." So they did some spells and they made or whatever, and they made two snakes come up, right? So when the two snakes came up, okay, Moses' snake swallowed those two Janus and Jambres snakes whole, because it shows you that the Lord was more powerful than these magicians and these sorcerers. And that's another thing with this perilous time. We are living in a high time with sorcery and witchcraft is at its all-time high. When you do the study, a lot of these people sacrifice these kids. That back in the days from the 90s and the 80s, you would see kids missing on a milk carton box. Them kids was being sacrificed by high politicians to pray to Satan by touching those little kids and drinking their blood because it's sacred. And they said their favorite blood was so-called African, Native American, and people from the island of the Indian descent. Those kids, the nation of Israel's kids, those blood was sacred to them. They didn't want to drink their own other blood, their nation's blood or their own people's blood. They had a special